Starlink has added a new policy aimed at customers using the Roam Unlimited service plan in sold out congested areas. Now, if you're not familiar with what sold out means for Starlink, it's basically when a certain area or service cell is completely full and has no more network capacity for additional residential users. Starlink won't actually allow you to even order or activate a kit on a residential service plan in those sold out areas. Instead, you can put down a deposit and be put on the dreaded wait list. So with a $99 deposit, you can get your spot in line. The wait list is a first come, first served system. So once you sign up, you sit there and wait for capacity to expand for your area. And then once they do open up some slots, those customers that are on the wait list get selected to activate residential service on that first come, first served basis. The problem is Starlink doesn't provide any timeline or estimate for waitlisted customers, so you could be waiting for internet from Starlink for months up to a year or more. As the amount of sold out and waitlisted areas around the world continues to expand, we see more and more people turning to the Roam service plans to be able to kind of bypass that residential waitlist. You see, even though that residential service may not be available for those addresses in the sold out areas, Starlink can't really prevent people from using Roam service in those areas. That's because one of the main features of Roam is the ability to use your Starlink at multiple locations, basically anywhere throughout your home country, and even internationally up to 2 months per trip. So if you buy a service like Roam, you can travel anywhere in your country and use it basically unrestricted. Now, you do have deprioritized service on a Roam service plan, but Starlink can't actually prevent you from, buying and using Roam Unlimited, for example, as your home internet in a sold out area. That creates a pretty big problem for Starlink. You see, even though Roam users are deprioritized behind residential and business customers, they still use up some bandwidth. So the more Starlink users you have in a particular service cell or a particular area, the worse performance that everybody is going to get. So in an area with a lot of Starlink users, that's what Starlink calls congested, and it brings down the average performance levels for everybody. One way that Starlink controls for congestion and tries to improve network performance for everybody is by limiting signups for residential and business. So by implementing the waitlist or sold out policy and restricting access to new customers, they can help maintain an average performance level for their existing residential and business subscribers in the area. Now, what's happening is that in those areas where service is sold out, what a lot of people are doing is just going with Roam Unlimited instead. Because that's available everywhere without the restrictions like the waitlist for residential, people can just use that as an alternative and sort of bypass or cheat the system, if you will. I don't really look at it like that because it's really the logical choice, right? Like if I was in that situation where I needed internet and I didn't have any other options but Starlink, what am I going to do? Option A is to pay $99 to be put on a list. You don't know when you're going to get service, you just know that it's going to be some point in the future. Or option B, sign up for Roam Unlimited, which is available immediately. Sure, it's a little bit more expensive per month, and you have deprioritized service, but I can get internet right now without having to wait an unknown amount of time. As a result of some of these continued congestion problems in certain service cells around the world, Starlink has decided to implement a new policy targeting those Roam Unlimited users, targeting those people that are using Roam as home internet, kind of bypassing that residential waitlist. And that new policy reads as follows. Roam Unlimited users in an area with high network congestion where residential services are marked as sold out on the Starlink map for longer than 60 consecutive days, Starlink may, in its sole discretion, require you to pay a fee or upgrade to a different service plan, or limit your access to the internet so you may only access your Starlink account. In other words, this new policy says that if you're a Roam Unlimited user and you hang out for too long in a sold out area according to the Starlink map, you could be charged a fee or just have your internet restricted altogether. Now, this policy is pretty broad, so they don't specify what the fee would be or what service plan they may force you to change to. They also use the word may when it comes to enforcement. So there's actually a pretty good chance that this new policy ends up being kind of like the Roam international travel limit that says you can only travel internationally for up to 60 days per trip. So it may be something like that scenario where they kind of loosely enforce it. It's not broadly enforced. They just kind of target specific areas where they think that these Roam users might be abusing the system, or there's too much network congestion, that sort of thing. Now, I have no way of knowing how many users exactly this would affect, but I imagine there's quite a bit of people out there, including some in my audience, that probably use Roam Unlimited as a home internet plan because Starlink Residential was not available. But this policy would also affect some other use cases. Other use cases which aren't trying to cheat the system and aren't trying to bypass the residential waitlist. For example, let's say you have a vacation cabin, somewhere that you stay maybe 4 or 5 months out of the year. You chose Roam Unlimited because you want the ability to pause your service plan when you're not there during the off season. And Starlink actually gives this use case as an example of how to properly use Roam. Now, under this new policy, after the first 2 months or 60 days that you're staying at your vacation cabin, you risk having your Roam Unlimited service restricted or being charged a fee just for using it as it was intended. So as you can see, there's probably quite a few unintended consequences from this policy should they decide to broadly enforce it. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out and what actually happens to people if Starlink decides to go after customers on Roam Unlimited. So if you are a Roam Unlimited customer and you're using it as your home internet service because residential isn't available, I wouldn't worry about it too much yet. I did want to make this video just to let you know what was going on, because in my view, it's pretty significant that Starlink added this new policy to begin with, so I wanted to keep you updated on it, let you know about it. But like I had mentioned earlier, I don't think this is going to be a policy that they automatically enforce or that they enforce broadly. I think this is going to be very targeted. They're going to be looking at areas with especially high congestion and seeing what they can do to the customers in that area, maybe looking at some of those Roam Unlimited customers that don't move, that they use it as home internet. Maybe that's when they'll start going after maybe increased fees or trying to get people to upgrade their service plan or just restricting people altogether. Who knows? We'll have to kind of wait and see. I haven't seen any reports of this new policy being enforced yet, but make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date should things change in the future. So that's the new policy for Roam Unlimited subscribers. I'd be interested to hear from you if you're one of those people using Roam Unlimited in a sold out area. Let me know how your experience has been. What kind of speeds are you getting? Are you noticing that your area is congested? Are you noticing lower speeds due to your deprioritized Roam data? And are you worried about this new policy change? Do you have any questions or feedback for me? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. As always, really appreciate you watching and supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.